Hello, once again. Thank you so much for staying here. And this time, I know that it has been a while, but this time I'd like to share my experience on how I usually come up with a realistic and fun role-playing activity. So first of all, if you're going to come up with a role-playing activity, you have to think of the target language, all right? I mean, what have you introduced in the class? It's very important that you stick to the main goal or to the learning goals. You know, role playing can be really fun, and it can also be, I would say, it's a deal breaker. It's not going to work if you're not actually making the student use the target language or the expressions that you have taught. So make it sure that when you design a role playing activity, the students get to use the target language. Also, you have to clearly give the instructions to the student. Like, you have to be very specific. For example, right now I'm standing at your office door and you pass by, and then you notice that there's a stranger probably waiting for someone. What will you say? So this kind of instruction will make the student think and picture out the scenario. It's going to be very specific, and it's going to be easier for the student to relate with the situation and then come up with the dialogue. And you also want to tell the student what exactly, why are we exactly doing this, all right? What exactly you want and he or she wants to get at, all right? You're not just going to say, okay, right now we're going to do a role play. I am B, you're A. All right, let's begin. No, you might want to tell the student, okay, I'd like you to practice using the target expressions. We learned this earlier. We did a practice. And now I'm going to give you a situation. Imagine I am at the door of your office, okay? And I'd like you to make use of the expressions that you just learned from me. Because if you're not going to tell this, probably students will just come up with random words or random phrases. And then at the end, you're going to say, or you're going to tell the student, hey, I think you missed using this word. Well, I cannot totally blame the student for this one, you know. Instructions should be very clear right at the beginning. And they should also know the purpose so that it will have a very clear direction of where they're going at and how you're going to assess them. Remember that you're actually assessing and evaluating the ability to use the language. So it has to be very clear what the students need to be assessed against. Now, after the role-playing activity, you just don't end right there. It's very important that you give feedback and evaluation. You can also discuss with the student what are the great things that he or she did, and then what are the things that she could have worked on, especially when it comes to the expressions. It's either she mispronounced it, or she didn't use it properly, or she could have used that, but instead she used a different expression, which is totally inappropriate. So this is something that you can do after the role-playing activity. And yeah, cold corrections. And notice that I emphasize cold. It's simply because personally, I don't want to interrupt the students in the middle of the role play. Wait. Are you talking about present or past tense? This will just lose the momentum of the students. So I will just take note of it. And then after the role playing activity, I will give corrections. So that's what we call it, cold corrections. And then, of course, give suggestions for improvement is something similar to what I said in the first part, which is giving feedback and evaluation. All right, so now that you have already gotten an idea on how to conduct a role-playing activity, I would say a fun and effective role-playing activity, I'd like you to take a closer look, or I would say I'd like you to watch this video and take a closer look on how I did it and what I could have done better. And if you were the teacher, what kind of suggestions for improvement that you're going to come up with for the student? How are you going to give feedback and evaluation? What cold corrections can you give? So I'd like you to look closely, watch closely. You can take note, And then on the comment section, feel free to share your thoughts on how you can improve or you can help the student improve her English and in terms of communicating. And at the same time, the way I did it. So let's watch this video or this demo video.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Sheila. So I have already taught you the expressions, and this time we're going to do a role play. And in this role play, you're going to
Okay.
imagine that you're in your office and I'm visiting you, right? I am
Mhm.
standing in the reception area. I'm about to meet
Mhm.
your boss. However, your boss is on business trip. So once you see
Mhm.
me, what will you say? Let's begin.
Wow, I'm really glad you come here to visit the company, and my boss just uh, come back to office, and we can face to face talk with him if you like. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
glad you come. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for your very warm accommodation. So now this time you're gonna
Mhm.
lead me to the conference room. I'd like you to start a small talk as we are walking.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So where
Let's,
should we begin with?
yeah, so
So
this
how
is
you
usually the challenge. Yes, go ahead. Shiloh, go ahead.
do? How do you do? So, um, what's I mean, I mean, what's your purpose come to here? What would you like to know about our company?
Oh,
And
well, yeah, because I am actually interested in working with your company as a trainer. So I spoke to your boss a few weeks ago about this. And luckily, he invited me to come to your office. And here I am.
wow, welcome. I'm really thank you for your coming, and I'm really glad to introduce to you to my company. Yes, just follow me, and we will be. I will introduce my boss to you, and you can have a talk. And I will be here if you need any help.
Oh, that's so nice of you, Shiloh.